Howdy y'all, so Giant Murdercat back. I just wanted to do a video that's just kind of chill, just like how I got into the fandom, how I got to this. So, back when I was in like high school, my friend and I had this little flash drive that we would trade back and forth. I would put like pictures on it from like our favorite Naruto characters, and we would just share it back and forth. Like, it was kind of like a fun little, like, if we had like role plays at the time, we would put them on there and we would just trade it back each day. We had like designated days that each person would have the flash drive. Well, at one point she found some cute anthro pictures. At the time we didn't really know what the word meant, and we kind of just fell down this rabbit hole of furries. So she wasn't real into it, but I kind of like latched. So I just kind of like went through searches on DeviantArt, and then through that I ended up finding people's fur affinity accounts, which that's when it just went wildfire. So I just kept looking up stuff, and then I wanted my own fursona. So at the time I was super attached to Seargles, which I still am. They're such a really neat, interesting species. And so I had a really basic one, which I plan on another video of going through all my different fursonas before I got here. And so that little guy, well, not very little. So that one only lasted for that was the one I tried to get the fursuit for. They didn't last very long at all. I fell out of interest with them after a couple role plays on the DeviantArt chats, and then I moved into my second one. And at that point, I was more like Facebook roleplay oriented and stuff like that. I did have a group, like a fandom chat that I made, and I kind of self-inserted my fursona in there. But from there, I started to end high school, and I kind of fell out of the fandom, honestly. And I kind of just concentrated on college. I had a lot on my plate in my last year of high school. I was in college courses, I was in a trade school, I had honor classes, and I had a job. So I had a lot going on. I kind of just fell out. I stopped doing art while I was in college. I just focused full steam ahead on college. Towards the end there, when my classes started calming down, I was almost done. I wasn't as worried because it's almost over. So then I kind of got on Tumblr. I was doing a lot of role playing on Tumblr, and I found some furry artists, and I was like, oh my god, I've never actually like bought art. I've always just kind of like done trades or gift art. So I bought some commissions, and it felt amazing. I loved it so much. So I kind of got stuck on that, and I bought a couple more, and this is around the time where I had introduced this fursona. At the time that I had revisited back in, I had my third, fingers are hard, my third, and then this one was just kind of like a side character. It wasn't really like the main person that I was using, or my main persona that I was using. And this one just kind of seemed to stick a little bit more. I really did enjoy the third one that I had. They were probably, other than this one, the longest lasting. They lasted for about 3 years. At the time, they were super, like, more widely accepted. They had a mouth tail. Everyone really liked it. And so moving forward, I kind of just fell out with them. They became more of like a mascot than like a personality that I enjoyed to put off. They were kind of grumpy, and well, I mean, this guy's grumpy, but they were kind of standoffish, more a little bit less fun to be around, I guess you would say. So I wanted to have a little bit something that's a little bit more fun, a little bit more immersive. And so this guy really stuck. After I graduated college and I came out to Las Vegas, I really stuck to this character and had completely moved forward, that it just being my main one. And after graduating and after living out here for a while, I had this character for about 3 years, and that's when I decided, like, okay, this is the one. Like, this one is going to be it. So then I got the fursuit started. I did my quote, did my deposit, and all that little fun stuff. And so then moving forward, now we're here. I've gotten obviously a lot more art since then. I've kind of embedded my claws into the fandom a lot more, got a lot more comfortable, and just, I really enjoy the fandom a lot. I've grown a lot through it. I was kind of hit and miss while I was growing up. It was just I was really distracted by life, and when life kind of seemed to chill out a little bit with doing like just work and not work and school, I had more time to study my interests. And that's when I found out like this is one of my really big interests, doing the art, doing the characters, just like all of that is so much fun to me. But so that's kind of how I got here, and I wanted to do a little like small Q&A. Just getting some general questions answered. So we're going to cut, and when we come back, we're going to be answering some just vague general furry questions. Thanks!
So let's start this interview with a simple question. How is it being a furry?
Well, being a furry is actually not like any other fandom. I feel it's a lot more intimate in the art relationship. Every other fandom kind of has like a basis to go off of, like a show or a book, whereas this one, it's just kind of like everyone's celebrating each other. You're drawing other people's persona. So I feel like in that aspect, it's a lot more about the community than your average fandom.
Do you feel like this is a second life and not going off the chat program?
Well, so on that question, kind of. It's really interesting because there's such a big stigma. It's being tackled as the years go on. There's just this giant, like, it's all sexual, it's all creepy, they're disgusting, and like there's all these like really bad thoughts out there to where you're almost scared to talk about it. And I really don't like that stigma. I really want to try to fight it. There's a lot of interviews that are doing a lot better, but we still have things out there like the CSI episode, the big scary CSI episode. So it does kind of feel like a second life, because I feel like you can't be as open about it as you can about liking One Piece or Bleach or Attack on Titan, where it's like people are just like, oh, you just watch anime, okay. But as soon as you throw out furry, it's like, oh, so you screw animals in your suit, right? And it's just a really gross stigma that I hope that we can totally get rid of soon.
Okay. So how does it feel suiting up?
It's kind of awkward, like putting on your paws and stuff like that. It's hot, for one giant fact. As you can notice, I'm only partialing today, especially living in the desert. So suiting up, it's a little bit of a learning experience, as I showcased in my second video on the channel. You just kind of gotta get used to the role of it. Like, for instance, like putting on your head before you put on, or putting your head on like after your paws and just stuff like that, because once the head's on, it's really hard to get the other stuff on.
Okay. So how much would it be if I was looking for a commission online?
So the prices kind of range. There's supply and demand for a big thing, how popular the artist is, and what you're looking for. Obviously, if you're just getting a colored sketch, it's going to be a lot cheaper than a digital full rendered painting. Average icon is anywhere from $10 to $15. A sketch is kind of in the same realm, and then like full rendered pieces go all the way up into the hundreds.
Okay. So is it hard to get into the fandom?
Not at all. It's actually super accepting. We have welcomed in a lot of like kids and stuff like that. Like, we want everyone to be comfortable, and that's what I really like about the furry fandom. You can literally be anyone and join in. We have people that are in IT, we have people that are like lawyers, we have doctors, we have just your average Joe at any other like small entry-level service job. Everyone's allowed in.
And what would be your closing remarks into this interview?
I really feel like everyone should try out the furry fandom. As soon as you try it, I feel like you'll know immediately if it's not for you or not. But just trying it, I mean, I feel like it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the furry fandom is about supporting one another and basically celebrating your identity. So I feel like it would be really nice for people that have like self-confidence issues or anything like that. That's why I really like it. So I feel like everyone should just give it a try.
Okay. Well, this has been the interview.
All right. Thank you. Bye.